So, welcome back to Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. I'm Andrew, and as always, I'm joined by Heather.
Hello.
Hello. And today, we're going to talk about a band called Kings Destroy from New York, New York. This was my recommendation. It was my turn in the rotation. Um, and Kings Destroy, I'm pretty sure that it was during a YouTube spelunking where I was just down the rabbit hole looking at bands, and they were recommended. And I think I had listened to a track they have off of their self-titled album Kings Destroy, just called Smokey Robinson. Um, so I know that they've been around since 2010. They have I think four albums and an EP, and the rest will surely perish. A Time of Hunting, the self-titled Kings Destroy, the EP None More, and then Phantasmanera. Now they haven't released any albums since 2019, so I'm not sure if they're working on anything new. But but yeah, I think they technically were classified as doom metal, but I think that there's more. Like, sometimes when I think of doom metal, I think of more of like the formulaic sort of, like, just within the parameters of what doom is. Slower guitars, lyrics that are about things like war and death. um, whatever the trademark doom metal cliches are. um, which actually reminded me, because I think Kings Destroy can't really be categorized as just straight up doom. They have a lot of other, they have like a hard rock stoner type thing going on too. And it reminded me of a short story I wrote once called Nicolas Cage's Field Artillery, where I remember a friend of mine and I compared actors to weapons, and we talked about, someone like Meryl Streep is like a Browning 50 caliber machine gun, where you don't have to be a really good film director to get a great performance from her. You can just point and shoot. Whereas someone else who's not as versatile would be a much like a bow and arrow, for example, where you need a lot of precision. Um, and then, we also thought of, like, certain actors are really good at one specific thing. Like, for example, would you want someone else playing a part that required a lot of yelling and waving a handgun other than Samuel L. Jackson? Probably not. Like, he's really good at that. But I always think, like, would you want to see Samuel L. Jackson in a romantic comedy? I mean, you might want to, but I don't think he would be as good. Like, that's why someone like Tom Hanks is so good, because he can do serious dramas, romantic comedies. That's sort of the litmus test for how versatile you are. Even someone like Daniel Day-Lewis could probably do romantic comedy. I mean, I haven't seen the latest one he did, The Phantom Thread, but
Mm, I,
I think there were romantic elements in that. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is Kings Destroy isn't strictly just a doom band. That's the genre that they've been given, but they are so much more sophisticated.
yeah, I had them as like they remind me of like a throwback, traditional, more on the traditional doom sign side, and like a new wave of British heavy metal, I think.
Yeah, I would say it was interesting to read that doom was kind of what they were stamped with,
Yeah.
when I felt like it was so much more than that. A lot of, like, classic rock feel to it. Um, they have one song called Mr. O, which is about Reggie Jackson, because he was known as Mr. October. So I feel like there's also some irony. Like, the songs don't have to be about something really. They wrote a song called Smokey Robinson. Like that just to me, I dig that they're very versatile with their songwriting. Um, and then yeah, so I really dug this band. I can't honestly remember where I heard them, but I would say that the latest album, Phantasmanera, the self-titled Kings Destroy, and A Time for Hunting were probably my favorites. And I think A Time for Hunting was the one I listened to the most often. And my favorite song on that one is called Shattered Pattern. And that has a great opening line of Jack woke again with the cotton mouth, which I just thought. And then you and I had spoken previously. I told you I'm sure I know what cottonmouth is, but I would just know it by like, oh yeah, that's the feeling I have. That's called cottonmouth. So
Oh, when the drugs have hit, you know, and you got that good combination that then you'll experience cotton.
okay, yeah, I'm not sure if I've had. I mean, I'm sure I've had it at some point, but I would. Okay, so because I remember once too. I think it was talking with my cousin about like smoking cigarettes or weed or or a combination of both, and he said one of them always gave him cotton mouth. So
Weed. Yeah.
I've heard it before, and I've probably
Yeah.
had it, but I wouldn't be able to point it out to you.
Yeah, your mouth gets really dry and
Uh, it's
it feels like
you've got cotton.
it's filled with cotton.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
maybe I haven't. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's good that
I
I
think you would
actually.
know. I
It's
think
good.
you would know.
Sure. I mean, I could have been. I used to have a really bad react. Like if not that I smoked marijuana that often, but when I would react to it either really well and it would be great, or it would be really awful, and I would get all paranoid. I would lose the sensation in my feet and hands, and I would, I would become susceptible to that fear of like, oh my god, this is permanent. So,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad we've clarified what cottonmouth is. Um, but yeah, so Kings Destroy, Shattered Pattern, Jack woke again, and then I began thinking about great opening lyrics to songs. So you and I thought
Yeah.
of compiling a list.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
I thought perhaps we could each take turns for the first few we came up with, and then I could go to the list I found.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what's your opening lyric to begin?
Well, my number one is sleep dope smoker. You have to include that. You drop out of life with bong in hand, follow the smoke towards the rift-filled land.
Yeah,
It's
and when we spoke about this and you mentioned that, I was so angry at myself that I didn't think of that immediately.
yeah, yeah.
So not only do I give you kudos and a pat on the back for going to that immediately and being like, "Oh, dude, come on, 2 plus 2 is 4." I was like, "Wait, can't 2 plus 2 be 5? What's going on here?" I'm so disappointed in myself that I hadn't thought it. So well done with that one. Um, I think my number one that I love to think about is from the song "Everybody Wants Some" by Van Halen. You can't get romantic on a subway line. That to me is like one of the all-time greats, and I don't think very many people know it. And it's just such a throwaway. You can't get romantic on a subway line. Um, so that would be my number one, Van Halen.
I also have Tool sober. Um, there's a shadow just behind me, shrouding every step I take,
Yeah.
making every promise empty, pointing every finger at me. And then it just goes on. I love the way it just goes on. It's such, to me, that is just
Oh yeah. Again,
such a great song.
it is, and I'm also ashamed that I hadn't thought of that one too. I feel like I'm an imposter in my own body right now. Yeah, and all the lines in that's waiting like a stalking butler.
Yeah,
It's and
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was a song that he wrote in his previous band. Um, he was in a band called Children of Anachronistic Dynasties. I think there's a concert of them on YouTube that you can find when he's a much younger person and he has long hair. Um, and then I think they may have further developed that song when he joined Tool. But
yeah.
yeah, that's dynamite. My second one that I was proud of myself remembering was and I'm gonna mispronounce it. It's either Phytoceria or Phytoceria by Deftones, and the opening line is "Fuck, I'm drunk again" or "Fuck, I'm drunk," which, which I always thought was great. He just
Yeah.
starts with "Fuck, I'm drunk." Um,
Yeah. And
okay,
then
so
this one, I'm going to see if you know what this is. A goddess on a mountain top was burning like a silver flame,
oh yeah,
the
yeah,
summit of beauty and love, and Venus was her name.
yeah. That's Bananarama, right?
You got it. Yeah,
Yeah,
baby,
baby,
she's
she's got
got
it.
it.
Yep. I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your
Venus.
desire. I'm right, it's Bananarama, right?
Well, I have Shocking Blue.
Okay. Because I thought
It might be a cover. Huh?
Bananarama may have covered it, but okay, cool. Well, the rest I have are from the list. I don't know if you have any others.
No.
Okay. So the rest I have are I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand, which is Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon, which I don't think you need to scrutinize why that's awesome. Um, Next up, another classic, Hello Darkness, My Old Friend, Simon and Garfunkel's Sound of Silence.
Yeah.
And then I got a little crazy with this one. Now, this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, which is the opening of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
Ah,
So, well, yeah, so I decided, you know what, that's iconic. May as well use
yeah.
it. The World is a Vampire by Smashing Pumpkins, Bullet with
Yeah.
Butterfly Wings. Another personal favorite, Oh My God, Becky, Look at Her Butt. Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back. Gunter Gleben Glocken Globen. Sorry, I was taking a nap earlier and I set my alarm so I wouldn't miss this. So I'm going to stop it. Okay. Gunter Gleben Glocken Globen, Rock of Ages, Def Leppard. Um, All Aboard. And then in parentheses, it has Maniacal Laughter, Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne. Another personal favorite, I said a hip hop, the hip to the hip hop. You don't stop a rockin' to the bang bang booty. But said up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie the beat. Rappers Delight, Sugar Hill Gang. Um, well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. Staying Alive, the Bee Gees. And then finally, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. Mama said knock you out, LL Cool J. But which reminded me, when I was growing up, I didn't realize the lyric was "I'm a woman's man, no time to talk." So I thought what he was saying is "I'm a homeless man." You can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a homeless man. Don't tell no time to talk. So good. I'm glad I learned eventually what the correct lyrics are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because that makes more sense. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
All right. Well, I would say don't sleep on King's Destroy. Check out their music, especially Shattered Pattern with one of the great opening lines. You can see where it stacks in the record books based on some of the ones Heather and I came up with. Kudos. I mean, well done to you coming up with Dope Smoker and Sober. Uh, those because those are iconic, especially Dope Smoker. That's just like one of the
yeah.
all-time greats.
That's one of the all-time greats, especially in the, especially within the kind of music that we listen to,
Sure.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Well, I remember watching a documentary where they talked about the making of that album and how that's basically what led to their breakup, just all the red tape and all the trouble they were having. But at one point, they said, we really used that opening lyric as a mantra to move forward. Like, that was, on days we didn't want to rehearse or we didn't want to play, or there was just, another bad phone call from the record label. We just sort of embraced that lyric as like, nope, we got to keep soldiering on, following the smoke in the filled land.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and I like the documentary you were telling me about. When they say, sometimes the riff is so good you have to play it over and over and over again for 57 minutes.
yeah, well, I think it's the same documentary, such horses, such hawks, such hounds. I think,
Yeah,
which I
yeah,
think is free on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing. Such hawks, such hounds. It's a really cool documentary about the doom genre and the stoner genre.
yeah.
But
That's
yes,
a great line. That's
oh,
a
yeah.
great line.
I forgot
Yeah.
the name. I think he's a music critic, Jay something. He's in the doc. Yeah, he says sometimes the riff is so good you just want to hear it over and over again for 60 minutes. But no,
Yep.
he's not wrong. He is
No,
not.
he's not wrong at all. No, definitely not. Yeah.
So,
That's how it's funny because a lot of people don't get like Dope Smoker. They don't get, they don't understand why it's such a great
yeah.
iconic song. But
Well, a lot of these, like when you find the groove in a riff, I personally feel it's like you're going inward. So you just
yeah.
need the one riff on repeat.
Yeah.
Whereas like jazz or progressive stuff goes outward. You're trying to see like what direction you can go in. But with doom or with repetitive music, that sort of works off of one riff. You're going inward and you're sort of meditating on it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um, that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I like this music so much. But
Yeah. Me too.
yeah, but
Yeah.
and King's Destroy is a great example of the music done well. So
Yeah. I thought their lyrics and the way that he sings, I thought was just phenomenal. I mean, great lyrics, and the vocals are really harmonious, which was, I thought it was really nice, and it reminded me of some of the bands I used to like, years ago.
yeah,
So it was kind of nice, and I I thought the songs were real. They were structured, but they also had a lot of groove to them, which was really nice.
yeah, I would say they may not be the first band you think of, like when you think, oh, I want to listen to some heavy, heavy rock or doom or something like that. But don't sleep on King's Destroy.
Yeah,
They should be in your playlist. So
yeah. And if you like guitar, different guitar riffs, and there's a lot of them, and they're really phenomenal.
cool. Well,
Yeah,
I'm glad you dig it, and I'm glad we got to discuss some of the more interesting opening lyrics to music.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and we will be back next week. It'll be your turn with episode 84.
yeah.
So
Oh,
I am,
looking forward
I'm,
to it.
me too. Me too. All right. Well, have a good one out there, everyone. Check out Kings Destroy, and we will be back later.
Okay.